Another day and another opportunity to metaphorically suckle on the nuts of Tommy Wonder. Today we're going to be taking a look at his 2-cup cups and balls routine. Now this one holds a little personal memory because I remember I had a speech for speech class and I chose, of course, magic as the subject of my speech, and I thought what better example to give a group of jaded, horny high schoolers than Tommy Wonder. Maybe I might convert one of them. And I showed Tommy Wonder, and I remember I also did a terrible trick based on muscle reading, and it was just to be able to touch a girl that I liked, and it was pretty much a cringe fest, the golden ratio of retardation manifested in a speech class. But alas, my friends, this trick is one that has just an infinite amount of lessons to learn from, and I thought that today we would look at his wonderful and brilliant cups and balls routine.
My friends, I would like now to show you a classical trick of magic. It's one of the oldest tricks in magic. It's called the cups and balls. Like, oh, you already seen versions of it. Oh, that's good. This one, it involves 2 little balls. They're both exactly the same. Especially this one. And 2 metal cups. Good, strong, solid metal. Although this one can go through this one and this one can go through that one, but that's not important.
To an average virgin, you might just look at the beginning introduction of this routine and think, oh, Tommy Wonder just took 2 cups out of a small little bag and some balls and is now joking with the audience. No, you've already been duped. You've already been hornswoggled. He's already done pretty much 90% of the work just in this series of actions alone. In this case, notice that he has a nice little pom-pom, a ball that wraps around the little bag that he has containing the cups that he's going to perform with, and he makes careful attention to have that be visible. That's going to be very important later on. So right now he's establishing certain things that are going to be sort of callbacks throughout the routine. And it's just a wonderful bit of theater because it seems like nothing. It just seems like he's taking out a bunch of cups from a bag and that's it. And yet he manages to set up pretty much the entire trick in front of the audience without them ever knowing. Now, cups and balls, as I mentioned in a previous video, the entire premise is pretty much based on that final load. And Tommy Wonder managed to find a brilliant load, as you're going to see here in a little bit, that is right in front of them the entire time. And notice his little maneuver here with the cups. It might seem like a joke. Every sort of cups and balls routine that is based on the classic Di Vernon variation involves having the cups penetrate through each other. And that's just a little thing. It's just a little fun sequence. Maybe some magicians like to penetrate it with a magic wand. But here, Tommy Wonder uses this to show the cups empty without ever saying the cups are empty. So right now he shows one cup. That cup apparently passes through the other one magically, whatnot. And he shows what is ostensibly the other cup. However, what he's done is that he's shown the same cup twice, but it seems like it's not, and both cups are apparently empty, even though one of them secretly has a ball. What a brilliant way to show the cups empty without ever saying, hey, these are empty cups.
These cups are only meant for covering the balls. Because if I cover the balls like that, I cannot touch them anymore. Well, because the metal, it prevents me to do that, no? There's a cup over it, you can't touch it. Unless you take it through the tops of the cup, but that's the weak part. Okay.
I don't think there's any better routine to show Tommy Wonder's genius than his cups and balls. In this case, it just seems like a small sequence where he pulls the balls to the top of the cup, but there's so many layered principles here that are just working in tandem in order to get the participants to never have a chance throughout the entirety of the routine. In this case, he makes a very awkward and what seems to be an overt action to steal the balls, and all this is to subvert expectations. We like to assume that participants are dumb and they're not aware of things like steals or palming, and they are. So what you do is that you pretty much guide them through the garden path, and then you turn on the water when they're not expecting it. And you're going to see here the steal is brilliant. He manages to cover it perfectly, and he goes right into a sequence where he pulls those balls from apparently the top of the solid cups. Notice that while that sequence might be over, his work is not done yet. Right now, he's managing to load in the next step. So for the next phase, he's already preparing, and he's doing that on the offbeat of the reaction. He doesn't stop. And this is the one thing that you'll never learn by performing in front of the mirror, because this is something you only get with performances for actual people, that you manufacture an offbeat and you use it to destroy them.
I'll show you how a little ball can come underneath this cup. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. I'll show you one more time. That's better. There you go.
He also tends to play this magician in trouble bit a lot where something might go wrong and then he solves the problem using magic. Tommy Wonder is big on that sort of effect and it ties in with his character perfectly. Now this vanish is something that he talks about in his book where when he makes something vanish, he has the sort of belief that it's actually disappearing and he wants to believe in his head that that object that's being held in his hand is somehow converting into nothing. And that way you convey that to the audience. So that's why his vanish is actually meaningful. Another lesson to be learned by Tommy Wonder here is acting. He generally believes what he's doing, and when he manages to, for example, show the ball being traveled under the cup, he reacts himself, and that sort of trains the audience to react and sort of mirror the way that he reacts to whatever is in front of him. In this case, it happens to be that ball. And again, on the offbeat, he managed to steal off the little load, in this case, that blue pom-pom that you're going to see make its appearance a little bit later on in the routine. But his mastery of the offbeat and misdirection is just immaculate.
You know, sometimes people ask me, is it possible to pass a ball? If you just do... And here, of course, there is nothing left. I should find some better glue for this one day.
Notice the movement of the balls when he actually removes it from the cup. Whenever he wants the audience to have their attention diverted to the ball and away from what he might be doing, in this case, stealing the pom-pom with one hand, what he does is that he purposely moves the cup in a way that the ball actually rolls forward a nice sizable distance. That allows the participants to have something to draw with their eyes, and he could take away from whatever he wants to do. In this case, maybe he might want to sneak in another ball underneath the cup, or he wants to sneak in that bag underneath the cup, and he does that through the movement of the ball. This is something you could steal for your own cups and ball routine. If you ever want to do a load that might be a little bit of an open load where you might have the objects that you're going to load into the cup on the table, or even on your person, you could actually create more misdirection by having a little bit more movement. So when you lift up that cup, just tilt the ball a little bit further and their eyes are going to be drawn towards it.
Yeah, let's continue. There's two little balls. Now, I would like you to point to one of them. That one or that one, whichever. That one? Okay, hold it on your hand like this. Take it, yeah, like this. I will cover it with this cup so that I cannot touch it, yes? Now you tell me when you feel it leave. Did you feel it leave? No? But... Oh, look at that feeling. Oh.
Also take in consideration the brevity of his entire routine. The routine doesn't go for more than 3 minutes, and yet it has, I would argue, more impact than any cups and balls I've ever seen. Now, of course, what do I know? I'm just the proprietor of the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician you could possibly be, all for the low, low price of a single White Claw a month. Maybe that might make me a little bit more inclined to have the knowledge base in order to analyze videos like this, so I don't know, but you should check it out. If not, you're missing out. Once again, the lesson to be learned here is his mastery of direction of attention. Even after he's done that previous load, he still manages to steal the blue pom-pom directly underneath their nose just because of his mastery of their attention. Here he goes into a brilliant sequence that's sort of in the hands, very reminiscent of a classic SpongeBob's routine, but the whole purpose is to be able to take attention away from the blue bag that's on the table. That blue bag becomes the final load and is the brilliance of this cups and balls routine. Usually you're reaching into your pockets, you're pulling things out, you're sneaking things under cups. No, Tommy Wonder has all the loads that are going to be relevant to the trick directly on the table the entire time. And that, I think, is just a work of brilliance. You could do the exact same thing, having the loads hidden maybe in the bag, but honestly, cups and balls doesn't get any better than this.
I'll show you how both of them can go through the cup together. Here they go, both of them together. You know why they don't go? The cup is already full.
Where's the sucker?
Dat was you, wat ik had. Yeah, that was you. Oh, yeah. I know you. I will go sleep it on, huh? All right.
Blocking is also extraordinarily important when it comes to magic. Keep in mind that what you're doing is essentially a small piece of theater. Anytime you're doing a trick, even as something as mundane as a coin vanish, it's still a piece of theater where you're drawing people in to what is the little stage that you have set for them. In this case, Tommy Wonder has the stage set as the surface where he's performing the cups and balls. And notice that when he distances himself from the table, it really makes that final load completely impossible. And he also has the audience fill in the blanks for him. He takes advantage of silence and has them finish what the routine or the effect is supposed to be. In this case, notice that he never outright says, well, where's the bag? Hey, where's the bag? But he conveys that with his body language. He's looking for it, he looks under the table, and he doesn't have to say, I'm looking for the bag. He's pretty much telling the audience with his body language, and they fill in the blanks. And then inevitably, he's getting another reaction from them when the attention is drawn right back to the cup, and you get another wave of reaction. So for one revelation, he's managed to squeeze in what could be 2 or 3 additional reactions from the audience that you wouldn't get otherwise if you just revealed the bag underneath the cup. He shows this brilliantly during his ambitious card routine, where the last load happens to be the card finding its way inside of the box. And he tells the audience beforehand, right before he reveals the card to have been inside of the box, he goes, I keep my special gift there inside the box. That's one wave of reactions. And then he manages to get another wave of reactions when they see the card. And then he gets another wave of reactions when they actually realize that that is the exact same card. Isn't it great to know that even though Tommy Wonder is dead for a while, that you will never, even in your 24 years of doing magic, ever even reach a modicum of his power? What other videos do you guys want me to look at? This one was a great example of what I think is the perfect cups and balls, but leave your suggestions down below. But other than that, fuck off.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.